Alright, for the new players to Warhammer 40k, you and your buddy, you got the Dark Vengeance set, or you got one of the other box sets, Shield of Baal, Leviathan, you've maybe got the new Overwatch, or Kill Team, or Death Watch, whatever. So now you're wondering, okay, I got this box set, I like the models, I want to play this army, but I'm still new. I've only played maybe 4, 5, 6 games. Where do I go from here? And everybody will tell you, me, IDIC Beer, Fritz, we're all gonna say the same thing. Find an army you like, find the models you just fall in love with, and run that army. That may mean you may have to buy more models. You may have to buy the codex. And that's okay. It's a growing process. But it then comes to a point of, okay, I got these models. I don't really want to play them until I get them painted. So you paint the models up. But if you're going with a different army than what you maybe played, so this is just a Dark Vengeance. You played the Dark Angels, you played the Chaos, but you're thinking, maybe I want to try one or two of the Codex Space Marine chapters, get a feel for them. So you do that and say, let's just say you fall in love with, White Scars. So you love the White Scars, you love the fluff, you love the models, but you don't quite know how to best play them yet. That's okay. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to build a couple of small point lists. Build 500, 750, maybe 1,000. And make it for the next 4 to 6 months. 1,000 points is your maximum. Maybe you can go a little over, depending if you want to try certain upgrades. Most people don't have a problem with that. You go 11, maybe 1250. Stretching it. But ideally, try and stay around 1,000 points. And try different models, try different units, try different loadouts, until you can actually get a good understanding of, 1, the rules to 40k. That's always a learning process. 2, the rules of your particular army's codex. And in the case of not Chaos Space Marines, regular Codex Space Marines, really learn your chapter tactics. Because the reason I say that is some people don't realize that there are different tactics that affect armies differently. Each army has 2 different tactics, and I think the Black Templars have 3. But can't speak. Pay attention very closely to these. So, using White Scars as an example, they have Born in the Saddle, which affects bike squads, and then they also have Hit and Run, which is very, very good for a very mobile army. So, based on those, Born in the Saddle, I want to have a lot of bike squads. But also with Hit and Runs, not only will bike squads be good, but I can benefit from Assault Marines. Not taken away from anything else, from tactical squads, from Devastator squads, from vehicles. Those are all key elements to 40k, all key elements to an army. But really, you want to try and look and see if your particular playstyle, if you can cater to the key elements of your particular army or your particular Space Marine chapter. And I use Space Marines as an example because there's so many of them. But in the case of Xenoses, maybe in the place of Chaos, maybe there's one particular Chaos God that fits more your playstyle. Miracle, Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh. Maybe one of them has a little bit more of a niche for your particular playstyle. And if you don't know what your playstyle is, that's perfectly fine. Because you can develop that. You can watch other people's games and just kind of sit back, take some mental notes, and say, he's actually trying something interesting. So let's attempt to duplicate that and see what the results get me. Now, keep in mind, there's probably going to be a lot of times you're not going to win. But that's okay. A lot of times it's not about winning or losing, unless it's a tournament, but it's more of early on in your 40K career. It's more or less a learning, a understanding period, to the point of, okay, I know my models, what I can take, what I can't take. I know my codex inside and out, so I know what I can do, what I can't do, and utilize that in figuring out different things. Maybe one game, depending on your opponent, who you're going up against, depending on mission type, depending on board setup, maybe it might be easier to deep strike your assault marines versus starting them on the table. Maybe it's better to deep strike terminators than starting them on the table. Or maybe it's better to put maybe you're one of a bunch of people that said, excuse me, let's try putting Centurion squads in a drop pod. Which you can do, taking drop pods as fast attack, just as an FYI. But it's still a learning curve. Maybe try some units that you don't necessarily think to use, or in my case, I've got models I've never played a game with, but yet I am actually looking at building some 500, 750, maybe 1,000 point lists, specifically intending to use those models that I've not ever really played with. Or maybe I've worked them into an existing list I've got, changing it up a little bit just to say, okay, so if I have this unit and I did that, what's going to be the result? Sometimes you might get lucky, but that's, again, why I personally say, try the same list out 3, 4, 5 times, maybe using different types of strategies, and say, okay, I've tried this list, and in 6 games, I've won 2, lost 4. Maybe even you can take some pen and paper and just jot down some notes during your game, like maybe during your opponent's movement phase, and just kind of jot down, okay, well, this didn't work. Excuse me. This didn't work, that didn't work. This worked well, or this looked like it was going to work well, but kind of went a different direction than what I was intending. Anything to kind of help you get an idea of maybe future tweaks. And then, from there, once you get a better understanding of these elements, then you can slowly start building up and saying, okay, to further this, maybe I need to pick up a couple more assault squads, or I need to pick up a couple more bike squads, and slowly grow your army to a point where you can do 2,000, maybe 2,000, 2,500 points, and still have some models, some squads, some units that you can interchange and change out. Maybe have units where, okay, this lineup works better against Tyranids, but doesn't work very well against Chaos. Or this setup works better against Chaos, but doesn't work very well against Eldar. And you have those elements that you can just kind of plug and play. So think about that for the new even experienced players can benefit from that. But guys, I definitely strongly encourage you to, if you see someone who's just getting into 40k, looks like they're struggling, not sure what they're doing, take them under your wing, help them out, teach them, help them grow. Because it's not about winning or losing. It's not about saying, okay, well, he's starting Tau, I don't want to help him figure this army out because Tau's just going to be kicking my butt. But say, okay, he's new to the game, let's help him because we want them to be as successful as possible, because you never know, maybe one day there's going to be a tournament either at your store or nationally where maybe it's a team tournament and you just so happen to get him as your teammate. So let's start a discussion below. You guys, what do you guys think? Does this help? Does this not? Also, I do want to take this opportunity to say I will be making a couple of adjustments to videos. I am trying to get some made ahead of time. That way I can get some more content out for you. Because right now, a lot of things going on. I'm getting a new position at work. Don't know when it's going to take effect. My wife is going to be starting a new job soon. And we're not sure what we're doing with our kids. So that's kind of throwing some things. So I'm trying to get some videos made when I can. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe because it helps out the channel a bit. Recommend it to your friends. If you have questions, if you have comments, post them below. And we'll see you next time.